Hello, hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. This is actually a special edition of Warriors Talk. We normally come on Mondays at 6 p.m. on Intellectual Radio. Today we're doing a special edition, and I guarantee that you will not be disappointed. I have an amazing guest that's going to be joining me today to give you some very valuable information that could save your life. So joining me right now is none other than life coach and the founder of Live Narc Free. I have Joy Larkin. Hello, Joy.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? For some reason right now, the screen is black. I'm not sure why.
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, give me 1 second, you guys. Don't go anywhere. If you come on, just like and share the show. All right, Joy, I'm looking at the screen right now, but for some reason, your screen is black. And before, I know it was not.
Yes, I'm not sure why.
Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you go out and come back in?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, give me one moment.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you guys, again, this is Lady ReShell of Warriors Talk, and we are going to do a special edition of Warriors Talk. Our topic for tonight is we're going to be talking about overcoming narcissistic abuse. And I have life coach and the founder of Live Narc Free, Joy Larkin, that's joining me.
All right, can you see me?
Yes.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Awesome. So I'm really excited about the topic tonight. I feel like this information is really going to be saving some lives. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me on. I'm really excited. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's just go ahead and get started, because it seems like every time we get started, when the topics are really juicy, we end up running out of time. So I just want to make sure that we get all the information in. So for those of you who are going to be joining the show, when you come in, please like, share the show, and invite somebody else in so they can get this information. You can comment. We do read comments as well. If you have any questions for Joy, then please put them in the comments. So my first question to you, Joy, is who is Joy Larkin?
Yeah, so Joy is a person that is a native of Delaware, born and raised. I'm 31 years old. I moved to Los Angeles, California when I was 17 years old. I left California when I was 28. I spent some time in Jamaica for 3 months. Then I came back to the States, and I also spent some time in Florida, spent 6 months in Florida. And now I currently live here in Rockford, Illinois. But I am a life coach. I do help people overcome narcissistic abuse. I have been dealing with narcissists since 2010, and since 2016, I have been helping people overcome narcissistic abuse.
Wow. Okay. So that was my second question, was what is your actual relationship to narcissistic abuse? Like, what made you so passionate about it?
Well, what made me so passionate about it is that I had a aunt that I lived with for 5 years. She was a narcissist. And at the time, while living with her for those 5 years, I also met a guy, which I had a connection with him, was dealing with him for about 4 years. And then later on, I went to meet a guy. He was a borderline, and I was dealing with him for 4 months. But what made me so passionate about narcissistic abuse and speaking about it was because all of those relationships, I felt hurt. I was heartbroken. I was devastated, and I didn't know who to talk to, where to turn. And I felt as if I was lost, you know? And so one day, previously I had a YouTube channel. I always had a big following. You guys could follow me on Live Narc Free. But, you know, I was sad. I was hurt. And so I thought, okay, so if I make a video explaining what I went through in regards to narcissistic abuse, maybe I could help someone overcome it. But I was scared because I was really ashamed of what people was going to say, what they would think, and how they would feel. But I said, you know what? It's not even about that. And so I went on and I made a video, and it was called how my experience with the narcissist. Right. And then that video got a couple of views, and some attention. People was like, okay, we see you went through narcissistic abuse. They felt sorry and all that stuff. And they complimented me on it. But then there was one video in particular called The Narcissist and the New Supply, right? The narcissist has a new girlfriend. And that video that I made it was 10,000 views, and it had 60 comments within a 2-week period. And people saying, thank you, Joy. I'm so happy that, you came out and you spoke out about what happened to you. You're so brave. You're so strong. Thank you. This changed my life. You helped me to heal. Thank you so much. In that moment in time, I knew that this was my passion, that I had to do this. I had to speak about narcissistic abuse, and I had to help people overcome narcissistic abuse.
When you mention the new supply, for some reason that always just makes me laugh, because when it's happening to you, it's like you really don't know, you don't know what's going on. And if you don't know what the new supply is, can you explain to the listeners what that means?
Yeah, the new supply. I think my video is frozen, but I think it's probably just my screen. But the new supply is a person that the narcissist starts talking to immediately right after they discard you, or immediately after you leave them. Now, the new supply doesn't necessarily have to mean that they're a new person. It could just be someone that, like, it could be a friend or someone that you never even seen or known, but in your eyes, they're new because maybe the narc hasn't really shared this information to you. You may not even have known that they was talking to someone else. But out of nowhere, again, if you leave them or they discard you, you will see the narcissist parading this person around. And in your mind, you're thinking like, did I do something wrong? Was I the problem? Could I have done something better? So you feel that sense of like guilt and ashamed, and you're like, well, I want to get the narc back, but unfortunately they're with the new supply, and you unfortunately have to watch them pretend to be happy, pretend to live the life of their dreams, and pretend like you are the problem because you're single, you're hurting, because you really did love the narc, but the narc didn't love you because they could quickly move on, so. Yeah, that's what a new supply would be.
Right. And like you said, sometimes it's not anybody new. It's somebody, they already knew or already had on the side. Yes. And now all of a sudden, they want to make you upset. They want to push some buttons. So now they're going to parade that person around to make it look like they really did not even care about you. And you're like, how did they move on so quick? And I'm still over here, thinking about this person. So what was going on, Joy, in your mind? So, when you were going through this type of behavior from these individuals, like what was going through your mind about yourself when you was going through this?
I felt like worthless. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I should have done more, or maybe I could have done better. I felt like embarrassed, humiliated, heartbroken and lost, confused, shocked, shell shock. They call it that, where you're just literally like in a state of shock and you're in confusion. You're like in a trance, and that's, to even speak of it is so hurtful to even talk about it. But yeah, that's everything that I felt when I saw the narc, moving on to the new supply, and even the borderline that I was dealing with. But thank goodness it was only for 4 months, but he still was parading around this new person. And I think people are beautiful. Everybody has their own unique characteristics. I think everybody is gorgeous, but this person was not attractive. And sometimes narcissists or borderlines can do this just to throw it in your face and just to say, I chose this person over you. I think that this person looks better than you. And they'll just do that just to rub it in your face, just to make you even more upset, or to make you even more self-conscious, or to bring your confidence down, to bring your self-esteem down. Like they want to kill that, especially if you don't do what it is that they want you to do, or you're not listening to them, or you're not giving them supply, whatever it is that they can do after they leave you, they move on to someone, or you decided to move on from them. then yeah, they will try to kill your dreams, your self-esteem, all of that, your confidence, everything. So yeah.
Yeah, totally. I totally understand that. Joy, what were some of the things that, so you're going through this and you're thinking that this person is supposed to care about me, but yet and still they're making you feel they're degrading you, or as they would say, devaluing you.
Yes.
And we know that when it starts off, it doesn't start off that way. They start off by love bombing you, and you're thinking like, wow, I really found, the person of my dreams. They just have so much attention. And then all of a sudden you hit a brick wall and you're like, what just happened? And it's like they trying to wield you in so that you can get used to this type of treatment, used to them mistreating you, I should say.
Yes.
So what was going through your mind at the time when, okay, this person, they love bomb me, and now all of a sudden, they're putting me down. Everything I do, they're critiquing me.
Yeah. So I felt, I knew something was off. My intuition was trying to tell me like something is not right, but I feel like I was so in love with their false self, their persona that they project to us, that it was so hard for me to leave. Like I was thinking like, well, they call it cognitive dissonance, where it's like, this person takes me out, they're spending a lot of time with me. They're telling me that they love me and, we're together, but then they call me fat. They call me ugly, or they say that this dress doesn't look that good on you, or maybe you should change your hair, So just going through that in my mind, I was confused. I didn't know what was happening. Honestly, I was literally trying to figure out what was going on. But to be honest with you, I knew that it had to end. I knew that it was not a healthy and a normal relationship. That I was thinking like, this is not the end all be all. You know what I mean? This is not how my relationships are supposed to be. So, yeah.
So when you were living with your aunt and you figured out, okay, something is not right, and normally a narcissist, majority of them are men, but we do have some that are women. And so this is a person that's taking care of you, you look up to them, and then yet and still, they're telling you that, you're nothing, you can't do anything, you can't survive without me. And then, so if you try to survive without them, they almost like sabotaging you so that you can always come back to them. Like, you feel like you can't do anything without them.
Yep, I agree. My aunt that I lived with for 5 years, she treated me, I remember when I first moved in, she treated me as if I was the golden child, right? The golden child gets everything, receives everything, gets all the attention, all the praise, all the accolades. And then I went from the golden child, then I went to the scapegoat out of nowhere, within a flash, right? And then as I noticed, I was thinking like, I need to move out because I was thinking, for one, it was toxic. Two, I literally felt like she was always criticizing me. It was almost as if everything that I did was not good enough. It was always like, you should have did it this way. You should have did it that way. And she was always comparing herself to me all the time. And I'm thinking like, I'm 17 years old and you're way older, and more established. And you think she'd be happy, having a gated community home, a husband, 3 cars, nice neighborhood, and a pharmaceutical job. She was miserable, and she projected that onto me. And not only that, but she also projected the fact that she felt like she didn't live her life to the fullest and was trying to discourage me to even reach my own potential. She was totally against that. And then me trying to move out on my own, she didn't like that at all. That was not a good idea for her because she wanted to keep her power and control that she had over me. She wanted to keep me codependent on her, being a young adult, a person at that time. She didn't want me to be independent at all. Nope, she wasn't having it.
If they feel like they lose control, then you're gonna pay for that.
You're gonna pay for it.
Talk about the silent treatment that they give you.
Ooh, yeah, man. So the guy that I was dealing with, he gave me the silent treatment during the time period when in my opinion, I went no contact with him, but he probably feels that he went no contact with me. This all occurred once I realized he was future faking me, and he ended up having someone else all along when, again, he was pretending that we were going to be together. And I just pretty much let him know, like, I'm not having it. You know, I wish you the best of luck. You know, I was saying I'm moving on pretty much. And usually we keep in contact. You know, he'd check up on me from time to time. But it had been like a month, almost like a month and a half, and I didn't hear from him. And during that period of time, that was like the worst. Like, I felt ignored. I felt so lonely. I felt like a lost child. I felt like, what happened? Like, why did he stop talking to me? You know, it was the worst. It was the worst. I felt just ashamed. I felt like just discarded, honestly, devalued, you know, all of that. Yeah.
Like you had done something wrong.
Right. Exactly.
You know, now you're going to be punished for,
Yes.
you know, not listening to me. And it's their way of getting control. Jasmine said, great topic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's their way of just gaining back that control. And so they'll make you suffer.
Oh,
until, you know, because it's like, you know, it's like you're destined to reach out to them because you know, you care about them, you're in love with them, so you want to know, okay, what did I do wrong? And then you're the one fixing it. You're always the one fixing it, because they're not going to apologize and say, oh, you know, I'm sorry. They're going to say, well, you never should have done what you did, and then I wouldn't have to give you that silent treatment now. And so you're feeling like, wow, you're thinking like, what did I really do? You know? So talk about that gaslighting that they do.
Oh, yes, gaslighting. So that actually occurred to me often, dealing with the male narc, several times. Usually, like, gaslighting is pretty much where the narcissist will deny you your reality. They make it seem like whatever it is that you're seeing and whatever it is that you know to be true, they're still going to pretend like it's not true, right? So I remember one time, the narcissist, we were talking about music, because that was the whole reason why I was in a relationship with him. I seen him as a mentor, you know, because he was into music production, so was I, and I thought that he really cared about me and my progress and had best intentions for me, but that was not the case. But he did connect me with this other girl. She was actually an inspired music producer. And I remember one time we was at his house and he was talking, and I was like, hey, do you remember so-and-so? And he was like, I don't remember that person. Who are you talking about? You know, so it's like, I knew he knew what I was talking about, but he was trying to get me to deny my own reality, like what I had seen with my own two eyes, you know? So to get you to second guess your judgment in a long haul, meaning they don't want you to leave. They want you to get you to second guess that decision to leave, right? And then another example is when I remember we was out on, we was at lunch at In-N-Out Burger. It's a place in California. I don't know if you ever been or not. Well, we was there for lunch, and I remember he was talking about like my progression, because, you know, I was making music and I was getting really good at it. And he was like, oh my gosh, Joy, you sounding really good. You're doing really great. You know, awesome job. And then I was like, oh, you know, my dad said that I'm number one. He was like, I never said that. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like, so he just said, like, great job. You're doing really good. And I was like, you know, just kind of like following up with like a compliment. And he's like, I never said that. And I'm like, well, I didn't really, in that moment, I forgot how, I think I just like shook my head and I just kind of chuckled or something like that. But I did think like he literally just said, not that particular phrase and word, but he's kind of giving me a compliment, but then he's taking it back, you know? So that's kind of how like gaslighting works. So.
Yes, I could remember just not even getting any compliments from this person. Or if they give you a compliment, it's in the way that, you know, it's not like flat out a compliment. You know, it was, I remember him saying, I changed my hairstyle. So I was wearing it curly. I had got the spiral curls. And he called me that night and he was like, because when he saw me, he never said anything about the hair. And I'm thinking, oh, he's going to say something because I knew it was cute. Never said anything about the hair. Then when I got home, he called me. He goes, oh, yeah, did I tell you that your hair looked cute today? I was like, no, you didn't. He was like, yeah. So that was his way of giving me a compliment about the hair. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Because normally he would not give me compliments. And it's like, you know, what's wrong with me to even want to be in this situation with this person who's not really even feeding me emotionally? We know that when it comes to narcissists, it's all about them. Everything is about them. And if the spotlight is taken off of them, oh, you better watch out. You better not be in their room, you know, when it's taken off of them. Did you find yourself sometimes, because I know I found myself sometimes stifling myself or just kind of like playing myself down when I was around him and he was around his people, because, you know, he was the center of attention. It was all about him.
Yeah, I did find that that I would play myself down while around the narc, and then too around my aunt, which is crazy because I remember one particular experience. It was her birthday, and this was actually, I think it was like the second to the last meeting that I had seen her before I decided to go no contact with her. But it was her birthday, and you know how we all are on birthdays, like, you know, we trying to have a good time, want to make the most of it. But I remember like the whole evening, like the food was great, the vibes were good, but she was the person that was like, oh yeah, it's about me. It's all about me. You know, mind you, she's drinking and everything. So she's like, yeah, the attention is all on me. Everybody look at me, you know? So it was literally, it's all about them. That's how they think, you know? And throughout the whole like dinner, the whole birthday get together, she was just cracking jokes on everybody and trying to make people feel bad and trying to triangulate her son to me and asking me what kind of, because I'm a pescatarian, so I don't really eat like meat like that. From time to time, I'll eat seafood here and there. But she was like, oh, so Joy, what kind of vegetables are you eating? And I was like, you know, I had told her the vegetables, and she was like, oh, well, you're not eating this vegetable. So are you sure you're completely a vegetarian? If you don't know about this one, how do you know you're for sure eating healthy? You know, so just kind of questioning like what I was doing with my life. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, at the time I wasn't living with her. So it's like, that's not really her concern. And she was trying to make it seem like she's a caring aunt, but she was more so trying to criticize me. She's being controlling and she's being smart, like not helpful, but she's being like cunning, and, you know, it's not a good thing, you know? So yeah, I had to deal with that a lot. So you have to downplay yourself when you're around the narcissist.
You really have to downplay yourself, because if you don't, you will pay for it. When you get home, you're going to pay for it. So it's just amazing to me that, you know, that I stayed in this relationship for 5 years, just not really knowing, you know, what was going on, that this person was a narc, but just knowing that something was not right. Like something is not right with this relationship. You know, it's always one-sided. Yes. You know, it's always about them. And, you know, whenever it was about me, it was never about me. So, you know, so it's really crazy. So if you guys are just tuning in, this is a special edition of Warriors Talk, and we're talking about overcoming narcissistic abuse. And I have with me life coach and the founder of Live Narc Free, Joy Larkin, and she is telling us about her experience of what she dealt with her aunt, as well as 2 guys that she dated. One was a borderline, and one was a full narc. So we're just talking about the different things that you will go through dealing with someone who has this, or and I know that they have out here the narcissistic disorder, but I know that a lot of them will not go and, you know, let anyone examine them to determine that they have that.
Right.
Because, you know, they're perfect and there's nothing wrong with them. So they're not going to allow you to put a label on them, and it degrades them. So, So if you're just tuning in, that's what we're talking about. So I was thinking about a time where, when I was done with the narc, you know, you're not going to get that closure. Like you said, sometimes I had to go cold turkey. I had to just like cut it, not look back, and just pray that they wasn't going to reach out to me, because it's like when they reach out to you, you're like, you know, it pulls on you. So you may answer, but I think when you make up in your mind that you're done, then you can really do it cold turkey.
Yes.
So, So talk about just not even having that closure, but just having to take it for yourself.
Yeah, that was really, really hard. Because for one, I never had a relationship like that where there was no closure. You know what I mean? So I automatically assumed, I was like, this is not a normal relationship. I know that I went through something special because usually in a normal like relationship, the both people, they have a closure conversation, you let bygones be bygones, and you guys just decide to part ways, and it is what it is. Like maybe you would remain friends or you remain cool and you just go about your way. But with the narcissist, there's no closure, there's no apologies, there's no empathy, there's no love involved. It's just they move on like you meant nothing. Like they just drop you like a hot potato. Like you're an object. They dispose you at any time, anywhere, anyhow. And so that took a toll like on my self-esteem, my confidence, my self-worth. I was just like, what is this? What happened? Yeah, it affected me in a way that it took me a while to recover. It took me a while to heal. And even like it took me a while to forgive myself. And I forgave the narc, as crazy as it sounds, but I'm not saying that I went back to them, because some people are like, oh, well, if you forgive the narc, you're justifying what they did. That's not true. I'm forgiving the narc because I'm giving myself that peace of mind, at least that that contentment, so I could say, I know that I had good intentions. I wanted to love this person, but this person was not capable of loving me. That's not my fault, but I'm not going to hold on to this burden. I'm going to accept what happened and I'm going to move on. So that's how I ended up, just accepting it and just letting it go. Because I started to do my research and I was like, okay, I wasn't dealing with anyone that was normal. This person was a narcissist and it had nothing to do with me. But I did have to take responsibility for allowing myself to stay in that relationship for so long. So I had to do that inner healing, that inner work, and then, I could move on to someone better.
So how important was that for you to heal before you moved on? Because sometimes we don't wait between relationships. We're right into another one.
Yeah, and that quote, I don't know if you heard the quote. They say, in order to get over someone is to get under someone. I hate that quote so much because I feel like that just continues the cycle of toxicity. I mean, in the end goal, yeah, you're going to get underneath someone, but you got to take that time to heal. You got to do it by yourself. No one else can heal you. You have to do it. You have to be by yourself. You have to feel those feelings. You have to seek support, reach out to a coach or a counselor, therapist, whatever the case is. Talk to someone that's been through what you've gone through, because they can give you that closure. They can give you that validation. They can give you that guidance and that help that you need to overcome it, because it's hard to do it by yourself, but healing is crucial. You have to heal. You got to. There's no way of going around it. And because if you, let's say you get out of a relationship with a narcissist and you're like, oh my God, like I can't be alone. I can't do this by myself, or I want to get back at the narc, and you start talking to dating someone else, you're going to hurt that other person, because you know that you haven't took the time to be by yourself and get to know who you are, get to know, like, do I have issues? Do I have codependencies? Do I have some addictions? So do I have childhood traumas, things that I need to forgive my parents for or forgive myself for? Or is my inner child still hurt because I felt like my needs weren't met as a child, So you got to take that time to do it. And if you don't, then you're going to just attract another narcissist. So, yeah.
And I know some people may think like, okay, what's going on with me that I'm even attracting somebody like this? And that's where that healing comes in. And sometimes, you don't know you have any issues or you have suffered anything until you run into somebody like this, and then you have to go and get help after that.
And it's crazy too, because I know some people, they're like, I actually had people emailing me and they'd be like, Joy, I need help, and I feel so embarrassed. I feel so ashamed that I need to get, coaching for a relationship that I just came out of. I'm like, there's no shame. This is your life. This is your life. It's not about the narc. It's about you. It's about your healing, your inner work. And if you're not going to invest in yourself and take the time that you need in order to recover from this, no one else is going to do that. And it's not about how other people feel or what they think about it. It's about you, you know? And but yeah, it's crazy because like I said, I just always have a lot of people saying how embarrassed they feel. They feel so weak because they feel like they need to ask for help to get over a relationship. It's nothing weak about it. It's about being strong and recognizing like some people are just hurt. And you know, you need to heal. And not only that, but I'm actually an empath, and some empaths are natural magnets to narcissists. So to be an empath is basically someone that feels the feelings and the emotions and the thoughts of other people. They take it on as if it's their own, you know. So sometimes empaths may attract people that could be energy vampires or people that are controlling and that are takers and, you know, that maybe take advantage of their kindness, you know. But it's about managing that empathy, right? So you have to work on that too. That's a process in itself, you know, but you got to do that inner work though. That's key to everything. You got to.
Yeah. So, and the purpose of it is just helping you to be your best self. So when you are ready to move on to a healthy relationship, you know, you'll be healed. And like Joy said, you won't be going into that relationship and you're hurting somebody else because you haven't healed. You got a lot of baggage. So that's important.
Yes.
So just in case anybody is wondering what we're talking about overcoming narcissistic abuse. And I am talking with Joy Larkin. She is a life coach, and she's also the founder of Live Narc Free. And if you are experiencing a relationship with a narcissist, we're talking about some of the different things that you can actually identify. And one of them was them being self-centeredness. It's all about them. Everything is about them. Nothing is about you, even when it's about you.
Yeah.
Joy talked about not even getting closure. You can't even get closure from this person. So you have to just make up in your mind to move on and get the help that you need. Because again, it's all about them. They're not available emotionally for you because they don't really care about you. Joy talked about you not even getting an apology. Even when, you know, they do something wrong, they're going to make it seem like it's your fault. And then you're going to find yourself saying, oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to apologize for the harm that they inflicted on you. That's a classic narcissist right there. So, yeah.
So, I mean, when you think about this relationship, it really is, it's a scary situation because I left the situation depressed. I was really depressed after this situation because, again, at that time, I still didn't know that he was a narc. I just thought that it was me. It was something wrong with me because I could never do anything right in this person's eyes. Everything that I did, it was always a lecture. Like he would lecture me about, you know, the things that he felt that, oh, that decision was not right. Or if I decided not to go with what he suggested, it was going to be something, I would get the silent treatment. You know, it would be like maybe a week before, you know, he decides to talk to me again, which it would come from me because I would be the one reaching out because, you know, he wouldn't reach out.
Yeah.
He would be already with the new supply.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's like, now, like when I talk about like everything that happened, it makes me laugh. But I remember in that moment, it was so devastating. And I remember I couldn't even talk about this previously. So that's why I say I had to do all of that healing, that inner work before I'd be able to, you know, make videos and coach other people on the same issue that I went through. But yeah, narcissists are, it is scary. And it's, like, I remember having night terrors and even nightmares about it. I remember having triggers and things that used to remind me of the narcissist. And I'd be like, that's not something that I ever want to go through. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. So if you know anybody that's in this toxic situation, because it's a toxic relationship, you can't win with this person. You can't win with this person. So the best thing that you can do is to get out. And, I would recommend cold turkey. Just, you know, block them on all types of social media, on your phone. I mean, just, you know, so that you would have no contact. Because the minute that they're able to get back in contact with you, they're gonna suck you back in. Like Joy said, they're like vampires. They drain your energy. Yeah. So the best thing to do is to go cold turkey.
Yeah.
And then don't even look back.
Yeah.
So my mistake was, Joy, that I got away for like a year. Like we broke up for like a year, and I was out of there. Mm-hmm. And he would be calling me like consistently, and I was just like not even paying attention to him. And then he caught me at this moment, and I ended up right back in there. Like he sucked me right back in, and I just found myself. I told myself, "Oh, it's going to be different this time. You know, we're going to do things different." And it was even worse. So if you ever get out of a situation with a narc, do not go back, because they're going to make you pay for leaving them the first time.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. And I think that's what happened with me. When I had the chance to get out, I should have just stayed no contact, had no type of friendship, nothing, just went complete cold turkey. But yeah, when he, showed off the new supply, I think that was his way of saying, I got you back, don't turn me down. You comply to what I want you to comply to. You listen to me. And if you don't, you're going to pay, That's exactly what they do. So, yep.
Yes, which is crazy, because it's really all about control.
Yep.
It could be control emotionally, it could be financially, it could be sexually. It's just all about them having control over you, and you just really being submissive to whatever it is that they want. And it's not really the type of relationship to where you're thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be submissive. It's not that type. It's like you lose yourself.
Yeah.
You lose who you are.
You do. I agree.
And you can't, even if you think like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. And if, like I said, if they have a difference of opinion, then you better not say nothing. You better keep it to yourself and not say anything to them about it. And why? Because it's all about them. It's all about feeding their ego, making them feel good, like they're the main part of this relationship. And you just, a lot of times I just sat back and I was just like, just plotting, like, how can I get out of here? Like, what am I going to do to get out of here? And, for me, it was a scary thing, because it's like, I didn't know what he would do.
Yeah. And that's the scary part, because some people, they can't leave because maybe they're married to them, or maybe they have children with them, or they're financially codependent on this person. And that's how the narcissist wants you. They want you where they can keep you stuck to them forever. You know what I mean? If you're married to them, they don't want to go through with the divorce. They're going to try to delay it. They're going to try to press charges on you and accuse you of things that didn't even happen, spread lies to you, smear campaign, all that stuff. If you're not married to them, then if you just dating them, they're going to stalk you and follow you around and have people call you and flying monkeys. And if you have children with this person, they're going to try to turn their kids against you, make it seem like you're the bad person, and, try to get full custody of the kids so that you don't have the children. And that would be devastating to the other parent, because of course they want to see their child, but the narcissist doesn't care, so you have to make a plan, and don't tell them that you're leaving. Please don't, because they're going to try to do everything in their power to stop you and to destroy you, literally, and yeah, you just have to be smart about it. You have to definitely be smart about it, plan it out, start to save money, and just make your escape, when they're not in the house. But sometimes people move out of the state, they change locations, change their appearance, all kinds of stuff, change their numbers. But yeah, you got to protect yourself at all times. It's kind of sad that it's like that, and it's scary, like we mentioned earlier, but that's just, yeah, if you're dealing with a narcissist, this is what's going to happen, unfortunately. So
yes. So you just have to make sure, let somebody else know too what's going on. It's almost like a domestic violence situation. You have to let others know what's going on, but to other people, that person is going to look like they just this little perfect saint, and they're going to be polite, and people are just going to be like, oh no, not him, not her. Like, no, that person is so nice. Like, they're not going to believe you at first, to even think that person is like this, because they have this facade of who they are to other people, but then behind closed doors, oh, you getting it. They're,
Oh yeah.
they're treating you like crap.
And yeah, they project to others as being this perfect person, and very superficial, having it all together, having the best car, the best job, the best career, all this stuff, and they're very friendly to strangers. Isn't it crazy? But like, they're like close family and friends and partners. They treat them like crap. They really do. And it's like, that's why it's so hard for people to believe you sometimes, because the narcissists, they're great actors. They're very good with deceiving and manipulating people and tricking people. It's crazy how it is. But I remember like when I would tell people about my narc, nobody believed me. They thought that I was crazy. And same thing with my aunt. Like nobody ever believed that she abused me behind closed doors. Because in their eyes, I mean, technically, when I came from Delaware was solely because, and I didn't mention this, but my brother actually passed. And I moved out of Delaware to come to California to kind of start over, right? And my aunt was crazy. Is like, she actually attended my brother's funeral. She was there, right? And that's why it was so hurtful in regards to her, because I'm just like, what I came through, what I've been through, and you still decided to treat me like that. So that was more like a slap in the face, like a kick in the gut, like, I don't care about you. You know what I mean? So that hurt deep. That was real deep to me, more than anything. Because, we all grow up thinking like family is everything. We owe everything to our families, family first, right? But no, family is not first in some cases, if they're narcissists. So
yes. And that's the scary, that is so scary, because you're thinking like, I can really depend on this person. They're going to cover me. Nope, not if they're dealing and operating in that type of sickness. So we have some people listening. So Yolanda Carter said, hello, ladies.
Hello.
We have Jasmine. She says that it's very interesting. Daryl said it's a great topic. So
Awesome.
They're loving the topic. So we're talking about overcoming narcissistic abuse. And Joy actually has her own organization where she actually helped individuals to live narc free, which I wish, I knew about this when I was going through it, but that's the purpose of the show, is so that we can spread this information. So if you're going through it yourself, or you know someone who may be going through it. And I know a lot of us women, we have friends that you have this, they have a guy that they're with, and this guy is kind of weird, and he's always, so uptight when that person is trying to do certain things, and you just like, what's wrong with him? Just check it out and look closely. He could possibly, be a narc, and you can help her get out of that situation. So Joy, I wanted you to talk about your organization and what you do to help people, and then if anybody needs any help, give them that information as well.
Yes. So over at Live Narc Free, I do help people overcome narcissistic abuse. I do have many products and services that I do have available. I do offer coaching sessions, programs, where basically I educate people on what it means to deal with the narcissist and how to overcome it. Now, there's one program in particular which I highly recommend if any of you guys are dealing with this, or you feel like you may be. Definitely reach out. But it's my 90-day coaching program where I work with you one-on-one in regards to helping you to overcome narcissistic abuse, meaning any of your struggles, any of your challenges, and even your fears, or even your hopes and your wishes, things that you want to achieve after going through such a devastating and a traumatic experience. I work with you for a 90-day period, and we help you to see those results and to have that change and have that transformation that you're looking for and that you actually deserve, after going through such a devastating experience. And you can find that information on my website at livenarcfree.com. And not only that, but I do have other products, which will be like kind of do it for yourself. I have an audio course called 5 Signs You're Dealing with a Narcissist. I have a video course called 7 Steps to Moving On from Narcissistic Abuse. And I actually have a free download. It's called Letting Go of the Narcissist. And all of that information is on my website at livenarcfree.com. So.
Wow. I appreciate what you're doing. Like I said, it's very much needed, because so many people are going through it and they don't know where to turn, and they're feeling like, it's really their fault. So getting that healing is so important before you move on to another relationship, and just before you really get on with your life, to know that, it was not about you. It was nothing that you were doing, and how you can move on and not attract those people, those type of people. So, change what you're doing so that you'll be able to spot these people and move on quickly.
Yes.
Before you get entangled with them.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, Joy, what would be some things that you want individuals to know about overcoming narcissistic abuse?
One of the things that I want to let them know is that it's possible. It's possible to do. It may feel like, that you may never be able to overcome it. You may feel stuck. You may feel like you can't see yourself out of this negative situation, but know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And, like you said, it's not their fault. You're a victim of a narcissistic relationship, and you can be a survivor. You can be a surthriver, I like to call it. So you survive and you thrive, right? But yeah, I mean, thank God I was able to overcome it, because unfortunately there are some people that don't. Some people end up committing suicide, and God forbid. But I'm just grateful that God blessed me to overcome it, and you can do the same. You can do the same. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not an overnight. And I highly don't recommend doing it on your own. But yeah, it's something that is achievable. But you got to believe in yourself. You got to know that you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be free of this situation, because the narcissist will try to hold you back, keep you bound to them for life. They'll never want to let you go. You are an object to them. They own you for life. That's their mindset. But that's not what you deserve. You deserve to be free of this. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be successful. And yeah, you can do it. That's what I say.
I totally agree. You hit on something about them committing suicide just to, because they feel like that's the only way they can get away. And I could remember thinking about how I can get away from this person. And I was like, the only way I can get away from him is probably through death. Like, because he's not going anywhere. Like, it was just that bad. But I was able to just do it cold turkey and just keep going. So the help is so important. Don't ever underestimate what the help can do for you. So just reach out to Joy, and so that you can get the help that you need, so you can move on to a healthy relationship. So Joy, was those your words of wisdom you wanted them to know, or do you have anything else?
Yes. So some words of wisdom would be, don't give up on yourself. Believe in you. Like, you matter. You're worthy. The other thing is, you're stronger than you know. And another thing is to keep God first, and you'll never be last. And final is, you are never alone. So
I like that.
Thank you.
So you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Again, we're talking about overcoming narcissistic abuse. So Joy already went over these signs, but I'm gonna give you 5 signs that that you're dealing with a narcissist. And the first one is the attention is always on them. Everything is about them, and it's never about you. The second one is that they have zero interest in your life. Whatever it is that you got going on, they do not care. And they will let you know that they do not care. You could be talking about a situation that happened to you, you're celebrating something, and they will change the subject and bring it around to so it can revolve around them. And the third one is they have this sense of entitlement. Like, they deserve these things. And again, it's all about them. They will go places and they feel like people should, be handing them stuff on the platter, because it's all about them. She talked about gaslighting, them being manipulative, making you think something. You can see something happening and they'll tell you, no, you didn't see that. And you thinking like, what? I know I saw it, just making you seem like you're crazy, and you start doubting yourself. Number 5 is a lack of empathy. They really don't care, again, what's going on with you, because the whole relationship just revolves around them. So they're not going to give you any type of emotional, they're not available for you emotional. So they're not going to give you any type of empathy. I don't care what it is that you're going through. So, and the only way to win with a toxic situation is to not even play the game at all. Don't even get into the relationship. If you hear that somebody is a narc and word is around town that they are, don't even get into that relationship, because just think about it. Love didn't hurt you, but it was someone who didn't know how to love that hurted you. So don't get the two confused. So Joy, I appreciate you. Can you please again give us the information on where they can follow you and how they can utilize your services?
Yes, absolutely. So everything is on my website, all of my products and services, www.livenarcfree.com. So that's LIVENARCFREE.com. Also, you can email me, livenarcfree9@gmail.com. And also, you guys can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all at livenarcfree. And I definitely look forward to hearing from you guys. Don't hesitate to reach out. I definitely love to hear from you guys. So
thank you so much, Joy. I really appreciate your wisdom and just being vulnerable enough to share this information to help somebody else know that, again, they are not alone and the help is out there for them. All they have to do is just reach out.
Thank you for having me. It's definitely a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. This is Lady ReShell, author and founder of Warriors Talk, where we are changing lives one warrior at a time.